Hi, I'm Dr. Jennifer Taylor, and this is Dr. Christy Porterfield. We're at HealthWorks in Plano, and we are here with Joni today. She is a certified strengths coach, and we're going to be having a wonderful seminar upcoming here real shortly, and we're going to give you a little introduction to what we're going to be doing.
Absolutely. We had Joni in the office, was it last month maybe?
Yeah.
To do a workshop for our team. And she brought such value that we thought, hey, this is something that our patients could really value and learn from. And so we want to bring it to you guys as well. So Joni is a strengths coach.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about how you ended up there as a strength coach, what drew you to it.
Yes. Oh, wow. It's such a fun story. So, like so many people, I've spent my life working in a job I knew how to do and absolutely hated it. But it's what I knew. So I did it year after year after year after year. And then about 4 years ago, the company I worked for brought in Strengths Finder. It's now called CliftonStrengths. And we did the assessment, and I was just hooked. I thought, this is the greatest thing ever. And then as I learned more and more about it, I discovered the work I'm in doesn't fit my strengths at all. It does not fulfill me, but coaching does. It made perfect sense to me. So the more I understood how I am uniquely built and what fulfills me, the more I was driven to do it. So to me, it's not work, it's passion. And I love it so much for many different reasons. But that's how I got into it.
Yeah.
And it's just the best thing ever for me.
That's how you know you're doing what you're supposed to. When
Yes.
it doesn't feel like work. It feels
Yeah.
like play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Engaging play.
I'm sure that speaks to a lot of the people out there. Like they're good at what they do, but it doesn't fill them with that passion.
Right.
So, finding out what your strengths are and how to use those in not only your work, your life, but your family life is something that can really benefit basically everybody.
So helpful.
Yes.
Yeah. And then when you came and talked to us, we talked a lot about being confidently vulnerable.
Right.
So
Right.
Can you explain a little bit about what that means and why
Yes.
that's even important?
Absolutely. Yeah. Today, a lot of people are really hesitant when it comes to the word vulnerable because they think, oh my God, that means I'm weak, I'm worthless, and it's so not the case. It means you're authentic. It means you recognize what you're not good at, but you remember we can also be confident with that. So I am good at this, which for me, I can ride unicycles, I can do art, there's a lot of things I can do.
Unicycles.
I cannot sing or dance, but I'm okay with that because I know I still have value just in different areas than other people.
Right.
Just like office work, there are people that are very analytical, very data-driven, can find answers to solutions in the numbers. I look at numbers and freak out. Not my thing, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm good with the people part. I
Yeah.
did a lot of front desk work, and they always complimented me on how I made them feel at ease in the office. There wasn't anything special about me. It's just how I'm built. And when you capitalize on that, then you can go further with it. But if I were to try to get into the analytical side, I always said if I became an accountant, the company would be in the red.
I feel my own worst nightmare being having to be an accountant. Yeah, and all those numbers now.
I'm grateful for
I do the
accountants.
spreadsheets around here.
Yes, I'm grateful for people like that. So that's part of the whole confident vulnerability, being confident in what I can do naturally well, and to do it better is a light lift.
Yeah.
And to be comfortable with being vulnerable, there's things I'm not great at, but you are, so together we make a great partnership.
Yeah.
The two of y'all are different, but together you make a great partnership. And the same with the whole office. Everyone's got something unique that they bring, and together collectively you've created a wonderful family atmosphere. And that's how it works when everyone plays to their strengths.
That's one of the things that I really appreciate most about Strength Finder and even the exercise that you walked us through. We pulled this out because we wanted to show you guys. This was something that Joni walked us through, and basically what we're doing is we're finding our strengths and putting them on the top. So this tells us all the things that we're good at. And then there's a whole lot of things that we're also not good at, and those can even be a blind spot. Like we might not even realize that that's something that we're not good at unless it's maybe pointed out or we see that strength in someone else. because it is a blind spot. Like if you don't know anyone who's like very empathetic, then you might not realize that that's not a strength of yours.
Right.
But that's not a fault at all.
Oh, no,
If you don't know anything about strength finders, you might think, oh, well, maybe that's a fault, that I'm not, empathetic or good at numbers or this or that.
Right.
But it's not that at all. It's about here are the strengths that you use to live in your life. And here's the spots that you're not so good at. So Joni walked us through as a team, and we all did this, and then later on what we did was we put it all together. And we actually saw something really cool, which was we only had a couple of spots as a group where we didn't have any strengths at all there, like just one or two little areas.
Yeah.
So as a team, like we've got a much bigger skill set and a much bigger brain than we ever would on our own, because we're then hitting all the strength spots.
Absolutely.
So that was really, really cool.
Yeah, and with these strengths too, it's not that you don't use all these strengths. We use all of these strengths on a regular basis. Just as individuals, we use certain ones more often. Is that
Right.
correct?
Yes, because
Okay.
we possess all of them. Just
Yeah.
it's the degree to which we possess them.
Yeah.
So when I talk about it, it's like your top 10, 15, they're top of mind. You might even not think of it as a strength because it's just so natural. You just do it. The next series in the middle, they're kind of like strengths you have like in your front pocket. You need to whip it out real quick. Easy access.
Right, right.
The bottom ones, you have those too, but they're kind of like in the bottom of your shoe inside your sock. Kind of, I can pull that out for you. You might not like it, but it's there. And at the same time, what's really fun is when you learn that those bottom, lower strengths, often those are the ones that trigger you the most in others because you don't understand them instinctively. You can understand them academically, but instinctively you don't understand them as well. So those you tend to be more triggered by, and yet those tend to be the same people that need to be your partner because they bring what you don't. Because they bring it more strong than you, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So it's recognizing everyone's wonderful, everyone's got talents and uniqueness, and instead of looking down on others for being different, we lift them up and appreciate their differences, and then everyone has a feeling of value and worth, and it's not a I'm better than, you're less than mentality. It's a we're great together.
Yeah, harmony is what comes
Yes.
to mind for me. It kind of creates a harmony within the workplace, within the family environment. Really understanding how we all tick.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
appreciating that.
Yes.
In each other. I think that's really, that's one of the most important things when it comes to working in a team environment, having, a family unit, whether it be, the family that you live with on a daily basis or even extended family. I mean, how often do you find that people really have clash with their extended family? Well, understanding your strengths and maybe where your blind spots are, it could bring more harmony in that type of situation.
Absolutely.
And we've experienced that so much in the office as well. Like in our partnership between Dr. Taylor and myself, we really do have, we have some core strengths that are really the same, but then after that, we're very, very different.
Like complete opposites in many, many areas.
And that's been such a benefit to us, which, I really loved it when we first learned about that because it explained kind of why we can work together so well.
Yeah.
And then additionally, for our patients in the office, one of the things that we love about Dee Dee is that she's so incredibly personable. And if you've ever been in the cold laser room with her, you know that. And so as we were learning about strengths for the very first time a few years ago, we realized, she is just the right person to have in that room to help everybody feel welcome, and we call her always the hostess with the mostest because she just really, that is her strength, and so she can just really just drive forward with that in a way that might be more taxing or stressful on someone who didn't have that naturally. So just putting the right person in the right place for the right job is a real benefit of understanding this system.
Absolutely.
In the workplace, and I guess also in the family as well.
And as you come in our doors, I bet you can kind of take a look at, each one of us, walking in, seeing Caitlin's smiling face.
Yes,
You
yes.
you know what I mean? You can probably pick out all of those different aspects of people, we have so many different personalities in our office, but now that we really know how we all tick, I think we're even stronger and we have more of a super team.
Yeah, and it was really helpful when Erica came on board because she offered something that none of the rest of us offered.
None of us.
Yeah,
She filled in those blind spots.
Oh, it was amazing because she really sees things from a different perspective than the other four of us had prior to her joining the team. So it has been just an amazing benefit to just have someone with a different viewpoint, which just makes us so much stronger.
Absolutely. And what works really well is the fact that each one of you appreciates the differences in the others versus thinking that, well, that's not how I would do it, so obviously you've just done it wrong. But instead you embrace that, oh, she's doing that different than I do. Cool.
Yeah.
I never would have thought of that, but it
Right.
works.
Right.
So it's not necessarily, strengths doesn't really explain what you do, it explains how you do it.
Yeah.
So there's hundreds and thousands of different strengths coaches, Gallup strengths coaches, people Acuity coaches, which I'm a part of both organizations. But we all have completely different strength skill sets.
Yeah.
What we have in common is the passion for helping others through this tool. Outside of that, our strengths are all very different, but we
Yeah.
do the same job,
Yeah.
just differently.
Yeah. Which is awesome. Then you can help different types of people.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So tell us a little bit about the upcoming workshop and what that will look like and the benefits. I think we've kind of gone over some of the benefits, but like a little bit more detail about how that workshop will look for people.
Yeah. In that short of time, it'll all be high level of why the strengths assessment is so awesome, why it's helpful, a little bit more on the confident vulnerability, why that's important, and the benefits of not only knowing your strengths and the strengths of others is, especially in a work environment, you can increase engagement, you can increase your ROI, your performance, you can increase the connection with the teamwork by that knowledge, just as you guys have explained. And the more you do it, the more that increases. It's kind of like, exercising your muscles. We all have muscles, sort of.
They're there.
But because I don't work out, I can't expect to be bulky. But if I were to work it out with the muscles that I have, they would grow and increase. But my muscles are never going to look identical to others because we're all built different. Taller, shorter, thinner, chunkier. We're all unique in so many different ways.
That's a great visual.
Yes.
Yeah. And one thing that I wanted to share maybe before we wrap up is that a few years ago I had my children do this test as well when they were teenagers. And that was a really big eye-opener for me to help to understand my children better. So it's not just in a work or work team environment, but a family team environment too.
Yes.
And then as my oldest son he was at the age where he was kind of thinking about what kind of career he might like. That was helpful for him to weed some out and decide that pursue this direction instead. So that was something that was a really big benefit for us too.
Yeah, and the CliftonStrengths assessment is not a one-size-fits-all, put you in a box. Some people misunderstand that it is that, and it's entirely not. The likelihood of someone else having your exact same top 5 in the exact same order is 1 in 33 million. And because if you do the full 34, that number's too big, I can't even say it. It's statistically rare that you're going to find someone very much like you. So even though you might have some similarities, we're still very, very unique. And what works for you may not work for you and may not work for me. But when we understand that, we give each other a lot of grace, and we can give ourselves a lot of grace as well.
Yeah. Very good. Well, thank you for sharing. I really appreciate it. And I hope that you will join us for Joni's workshop, which is going to be on the 8th of October at 6:30. That's a Monday. And she's going to walk us through how to be confidently vulnerable and what that means, how that can help in life. And she's going to have some really fun giveaways as well. So I hope that you'll please join us.
Absolutely.